Hello guys, welcome to Talking News, Chasing a Murder. Please like and subscribe right now. Especially hit that notification bell if you would like notification whenever I have a new upload. So today I kind of wanted to cover some new stories that are out there, people who are actively missing. And one of those people, her name is Amy Lee Bracken. Now, this story is very interesting to me because the fact that I want to remind you first, well, actually just kind of make you aware that she has a cell phone, but supposedly broke it before she went and met with a guy that she met online. After meeting this guy, after that weekend that she met him, she just disappeared. Amy Lee is the type of girl, according to her friends and family, that is active on social media. But ever since she met up with that guy, there has been no activity online. So guys, let's kind of go over this story real quick. Okay, so this story is coming out of Braddock, Pennsylvania. And police are asking for help in finding the missing Somerset woman who was last seen in Braddock. And her family is as well. Amy Lee Bracken, who is 39 years old, got a ride from Somerset to North Braddock to meet someone she met online January 17th. And like I mentioned earlier, her family says nobody's heard from her, and it's just not like her to do these kind of things. So the media actually did an interview with the guy that she last was seen with, or heard with, exactly, not seen with. And he said that she seems like a really sweet girl, that she was somebody who was genuine, kind, and caring. Somebody you don't really see too often in this world. And the guy's name is Brandon Lordenwin. I hope I said that right, so I'm going to spell it for you. Lordeone. I want to actually play that clip later on for you guys to watch. I think this is going to kind of shock you. And where you can actually see it is WPXI.com. So according to this news station, they also are saying that they met on a social media and then were meeting that weekend. So the big concern for her family is, like I mentioned also, is that she's very active on Facebook and she's not posted since that weekend. But according to this guy, she hasn't even contacted him. Her family says she hasn't contacted anybody or called anybody or got on Facebook, and that's just unusual for her because she is pretty dependent on her dad, said Diane Celio, which is her aunt. Brandon said that after the two had spent that weekend together, a man in a white Lexus with Ohio license plates came back to pick her up. He said she told him, quote, she was going to go somewhere real quick, maybe stay the night at a friend's house and then come back in the morning. I've never heard from her since, end quote, he says. But let me tell you guys, Brandon is having a lot of trouble dealing with this, and he has reason to. He said it wasn't until speaking with the police a few days ago when it became clear that he was the last person to see her alive. And his response was, quote, it freaked me out. I'm not going to lie. My past is colorful, I have to say the least. I'm not somebody that tries to do anything wrong these days, end quote. So, I mean, that's kind of a weird quote, isn't it? He says, I'm a type of guy who don't like to do things wrong these days. But the problem is, what he's referring to is he does have quite a background. In Pittsburgh of 2019, he was involved with a stabbing incident downtown. Anyways, Brandon's charge was reduced from a felony aggravated assault to a summary disorderly conduct in an incident he described as self-defense. Brandon says he is trying to cooperate with the police and everyone to try to help find Bracken. Her family says that they remain hopeful and they are just praying that they find her safe. And Cleo actually quoted, "It's heart-wrenching. It really is. Your stomach's in knots and you don't know what to do." Investigators say that usually, the cell phone plays a huge role in solving a lot of these type of cases. But the problem with that is Amy had broken her phone just before she went to meet Brandon. So I have to say, Brandon, you probably are a person of interest. You are the last person that's seen her. And that will probably continue for a while until police can get any tips. So really, police haven't said that they have accumulated any more evidence or tips. So we don't know what's going on. Really, we were lucky to know this much on this case. But honestly, I mean, he does look guilty as far as being involved with that, because in a lot of cases, while his demeanor reminds me of a case, and I'm not accusing Brandon at all, I'm just saying why they think he might be a person of interest. So who remembers this case? Let me show you a clip of the guy. It's kind of long. Here we go.
We were both JD students. We graduated back in May.
What kind of person was she? I mean, what did you see?
I mean, she's as nice as can be. I mean, very personable, very much a people person.
Do you know any enemies she might have had? Somebody that might want to hurt her?
No, we don't know where she is. The only thing we can think is that maybe she went out running and someone snatched her.
I don't know if any of you, I've got an environmental change, guys, I apologize. But anyways, I don't know if you guys remember Lauren Giddens. She was the college student who ended up, they never found all her remains, but they found some of her remains and connected that guy to her murder. This story is not about her, but it's about this guy that's doing the interview. I wanted you guys to pay attention to how he interviews with the media, because for some reason the guy involved with the story we're covering right now for Amy, he kind of reminds me of that guy, and I was wondering what you guys think. So here's the interview with Brandon, the last guy that's seen her.
She was genuine, she was kind, she was caring, somebody that you don't really see too often in this world.
Brandon Lord.
Now watch Stephen McDaniels when he does his interview. It's kind of almost exactly alike.
What kind of person was she? I mean, what did you see?
She's as nice as can be. Very personable, very much a people person.
She was kind, she was caring, somebody that you don't really see too often in this world.
Brandon.
I don't know why, but when I seen Brandon do that interview, that's where my mind shot to that story, which I want to do later. So Brandon continued the interview telling people what he last knew about Amy. So here we go.
To pick her up.
She said she was just going to go somewhere real quick. She might stay the night over at a friend's house, and then she was going to come back in the morning, and I never heard from her since.
Lordion.
So Brandon said he's not going to lie. He was worried for the fact he knew that he was the last one that seen her. He said he wasn't really aware that she was even missing. So here's that interview.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. My past is it's colorful to say the least, and I'm not somebody who tries to do anything wrong these days.
And so he's speaking about what I told you about earlier, where he had been arrested for stabbing someone, but he claimed it was in self-defense, so it was dropped a bit. Now, I have reached out to family members. I reached out to her cousin, and she said probably most likely I should probably reach out to another family member, because she lives in Alabama and Amy lived in Pennsylvania, so they really haven't been hanging out for a while. So whenever I can get some more background on her, I will. All I know right now is, she was struggling with being, she was a single girl. She had some background issues. Her favorite color was blue. And like I mentioned, I'll keep working on getting more information on her. Hopefully, I have a message out to the family. Maybe they'll reach out to me later. So one of her aunts did do a brief interview with media. Her name is Diane Celio. It's just a quick idea of how they're dealing with the fact that Amy's still missing.
It's heart-wrenching. It really is. Your stomach's in knots. You don't know what to do.
So guys, you know, that's all I have for you on Amy. I really hope that they're able to find some answers pretty quickly on her, and I'm hoping that this video helps get her story out there, maybe inform a few other YouTubers even, or maybe even media to notice, you know, her story and maybe do one for themselves. So I'm wishing that this family are able to remain strong throughout this, hang in there, find their answers, hopefully get her home and safe soon. Thanks guys for watching. You know I love you, and I'll see you soon.